trailer for that Pragmata photorealistic game with a little girl that looked way too real holding the sign saying no 2022.
The one that everyone thought it was a fucking Kojima game, yeah.
I didn't need that to make me feel as uneasy as it did.
I just remember the trailer and everyone thought it was the Kojima, like, lunar dude from his new studio. His mascot? That thing.
No, that was eerily that wasn't comfortable. That was not comfortable to see.
God damn it. Ugh. I just saw the picture from that Pragmata thing. No, thank you.
Oh no, watch the trailer. It's even worse.
Nope. I'm alright.
She knows that your soul is attainable and she wants it.
Like, on a small picture on Twitter, it looks like, oh, that might be a person. I, like, zoomed in and I was like, oh, God.
No. She is proof there is no God.
The Uncanny Valley is strong with this one.
Hello, welcome to Weeboo Trash Talk, your number one unranked weekly anime podcast. Every Wednesday at 9:30ish p.m. Central Time, we come to you live where our trash takes on anime news, host topics, and we'll be watching right here at twitch.tv/CLOSP. That's CLOSP. Please remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming, a one free monthly Twitch sub for any channel. We'd love to be that channel for you, but if not, people, no, give us a sub. Mingo couldn't be here today because he needed to sleep. He was tired. He don't got the energy. You need to give us a sub and let us buy him a pillow, or allow us to let him do this more often than doing anything else. We need the sub. Mingo needs a pillow, and you're loving. Do the right thing. Anyway, I'm your host, P. You can call him P. As always, I'm joined by one co-host, the world's number one Mew enthusiast, Gallant of Gallant and Zeros on Twitter and Twitch.
How's it going, everybody? Definitely sounded like Carlos was about to do my intro for the gaming podcast.
Look, I just got a third host for that one. I've been on that dock a lot today, reworking things, because I forgot to put it in here. I had to rework it to say, hey, instead of just a bit of like, hey, you should do the sub because all this other wacky blah 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 bullshit, I need to add in, if you don't have it, you can go ahead and do like a review or share it or like it and all this other crap. And so I was just kind of there in the intro for a long time, and I just kept rereading everything, because now that we have that third person, they're technically someone after your intro over there. So I was rereading your intro a lot to make sure it all flowed better, and that's what's happening here. Starting next. Well, no, actually not next week, because we're taking Thanksgiving off for next Thursday, obviously. But yeah. Pretty soon this channel will be running podcasts 3 times in the week. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Look forward to it, folks. 2 video game podcasts and 1 anime podcast. And there's still more down the pipe, hopefully.
You're nuts.
I haven't even begun to go nuts yet. Probably soon, though. We'll see. Anyway. This is episode 18 on Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. That is correct, right? Yes, it is. And we have for you probably a really, really short show, possibly. We probably should have saved all the Netflix stuff from last week for this week, but you know what? I'm glad we did it last week, because that was when all 3 of us were here, and this week would not have been, so it's cool. It's awesome. We'll see. We'll hopefully have an even bigger week next week. Until then, though, I'm going to go and start off, as always, with what we've been watching. And, of course, Gallant is going to regale us with a special treat of both their thoughts on anime and its manga.
So, last week, in a fit of, goddamn, I don't know what to do, and also buying more manga, which I do regularly, not as regularly as I actually read those manga that I take home. Look, I know it's a problem. It's a good problem to have until you're in the situation I'm in. Anyway, I'd been looking forward to Otherside Picnic for quite a while. I had heard that it was getting an anime, and I knew we were getting the manga, and then I saw the manga, and I was like, damn, I should grab that. And then I was like, I should also read that. So like I had a half day for work one of my days last week. So I woke up and spent time reading that monster of a volume. I think it's like 4 or 5 chapters plus an extra thing by the author of the light novel that it's based on in the back. Those chapters are the first 2 chapters are 143 pages. It's long, but it's like also really good. So for the overview of this, it's like, what if Stalker or Roadside Picnic, um, but an anime about girls, and it's everything I have seen has said that it is a Yuri series. So I was like, well, I have to at least try this. And it's actually extremely good. I after reading the first volume of manga, I was like completely enthralled with everything. There's like it tosses you like straight into the action. You get a little bit of backstory, about the main character, but it literally starts off with a character drowning because they saw a creature that made it so they went numb. They couldn't think of anything. They couldn't move their body. They still can't move their body, and they're floating in enough water to drown in. Um, and then she ends up being rescued by a beautiful blonde girl. And they end up fighting this monster off, which is like one of the weirdest looking scarecrow motherfuckers ever. Carlos, did I send you the picture of this thing?
Nope.
All
I've
right,
been
hold on.
sleeping great this week, so that did not happen.
Great. I'm gonna put a picture of it in the Discord just so you can see it. Uh,
And with like that, folks, there will be no live updates this episode because we will not be checking Discord. Go on.
so yeah. Anyway, I I went ahead and sent that. It's like a weird said in the manga said to be like white like creature thing that is all twisted up, and like I said, just looking at it makes you like lose your mind. And that you get to see that on like page 20. This thing like just opens up and it goes. But it's really interesting. There's a whole I've seen people describe it as like creepy pasta vibe to this. So it's like the area that they're in is referred to as the other side, and it functions. You learn generally like the zone from something like Roadside Picnic or Stalker, where like in those it's something has happened to this area. Usually, I believe those take place in like the Chernobyl like Fallout area,
I
and
can
there
see that.
there's weird there's weird things, and like there's mutated creatures in there. I believe eventually it is revealed to be like actually aliens involved and whatever, but there is also like areas where like, oh, there's you got to watch where you're walking because there's an invisible thing here where it's like just nature is fucked up and it's going to kill you. Like you step in this one like, I don't know, manhole sized piece of area just around this open field, and suddenly you catch on fire, like you're dead fire instantly, or like wind blows you, or like there's just random lightning striking there. That's in this too. They meet further into the first manga, they meet a character who literally does the thing from Roadside Picnic and like throws a screw into one of these things, and you see it like burn to ash and stuff like that. And there's kind of a lot going on, but like the creepy ness of this is a lot of the things that they end up seeing loosely relate back to like Japanese, what do you call it, urban legends, right, Carlos?
Which ones?
Things like, so the first one is the I believe the manga, so we have 3 different names for this thing. I believe in Japanese it's called the kune kune, which is roughly translates to like their onomatopoeia for like wiggling. In the manga, it's translated as a wiggler, and in the the subtitles, I haven't seen the dub for the anime. It's referred to as a wiggle waggle. So, but apparently, it is a thing that like is found in open fields, and it is said that looking at it makes you like kind of lose your mind or whatever, and that's how it kind of works here. So there's
Well,
there's there's kind of an aspect of, is this place influenced by the thoughts of like the collective unconscious,
well, if you ask a devout Catholic, they will tell you that the Wiggles were the Antichrist reborn. So I can see that.
But for one you may have seen like art of or something, because of course Japan's got to be horny for literally everything. One of the urban legends is, I can't remember her name. It's a lady who's like 8 feet tall in like a white sundress, and she abducts children.
I've
That ends up,
seen images of that, I believe,
yeah,
via the Twitter.
you've most likely seen that. They're probably extremely horny images, and not the ones that are supposed to be terrifying. But yeah, she's like she is referred. She's like a, I think she's like a summer kind of ghost thing, urban legend myth. Anyway, the second kind of chapter where the first two they deal in like hunting the the wigglers, because someone is paying them money for what they leave behind, and that's also another thing kind of drawing from Roadside Picnic. But people go into the zone to get valuable things to earn money and yada yada. But there's also this good, like, you get the main character's backstory of like, she finds this place, she feels like it's something special, and then upon her third time entering, she is going to like die. It was kind of just like her secret place away from people. Not really a people person. Tell me if you've heard this kind of main character in an anime or manga before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then quickly she gets roped in with this other girl who was actually in there looking for someone that she had lost over 3 months ago. Um, you meet the person that's buying the stuff off of them, and it turns out to be someone who's in college, and it also looks like a preteen. Again, stop me if you've watched anime or manga before. Um, so there's kind of some of those tropes floating around. Things happen in like the second chapter that kind of change both of their bodies in a way that's you know special and different, and you know not horrifying but weird. In kind of a special manner, and that I guess that ends up meaning something. But all in all, there's a great there's a great dread, and like you know I'd never heard of you know wigglers before this, like in the Japanese sense of them being an urban legend, being a monster that people see. But the manga does a really good job of like going into like the how these may have come about. Like I believe something in the name in Japanese uh, uses the same kanji as like scarecrow. So they were thought to be confused for like scarecrows on like a hot day. When like the heat waves are like moving or whatever, or also like albino snakes being like a sign of them. They're white and they move around, stuff like that. There's this whole thing that goes into it, and it's really interesting and gives you a lot of like insight into it. And then like the actual horror of them, they kind of go really deep in there. Like there's a you're not supposed to look at it aspect, and then they end up having to like look at it specifically to end up you know surviving at one point. um it's just really neat, like how they all the different flavor you get from it. And then there's also the underlying, like when the person that the second character's name is Toriko. The main character is Soro. Um, the second character, the blonde girl, is looking for the lady that showed her this place at first. Was I believe was like a tutor and like kind of a mentor, and is stated to be the most important person in the world to her. And upon hearing that, um, Sora is very suddenly jaded about a lot of things. And then, like I said, the other guy that they meet in there is also looking for someone that's lost. And the manga ends on them finding the lady in white. And the thing that changes about the main character from like their contact with these creatures is she gets like a blue eye, and she can actually kind of see through as to what the lady in white actually is, and it's not a person. And I was left like, damn, God, shit, I really need to see how this ends, because the way that chapter ends is a cliffhanger. And then I looked, and the next volume of the manga is not out until April. Um, So I did what all people should never do. I dived straight into the anime. Like, I finished the manga and was like, how much time do I got left before work? I can make lunch and watch this episode. So I ended up doing it, and the anime is so weirdly paced. It's so bizarre. There's kind of a really good horror moment in the beginning of the manga where they leave the zone, they leave the other side like through a door, and like it's the place that she ended up finding it. Sorry, I'm all over the place with my description. Is just a door to a back alley that opened up into a field, and that's the area. They come out of it and they're talking about what happened and everything, kind of introducing each other properly, and there's like a banging from that side, and I'll just mention this because it was kind of one of the, like, even in manga form it was terrifying because it's like, oh my god, something's trying to break through, like, from there to our world. Can that even work? But like, she just sees some blue on the other side, like a blue curtain or something, and the first thing that happens is she gets thrown off the door, and the other lady pulls out a gun. Like, you could have said that the worst thing in the world is on the other side of the door. And one thing she was told was that when everything is blue, it's really bad there. And that comes back in a decent way at the end of that volume. And the reason I have to go into this is because that part's done really well in the anime, but they end up condensing, like I said, first two chapters, 143 pages, into 20 minutes, and it's just, oh, it like misses so much nuance. It misses so much explanation. I've never, if you, I just listened to a podcast today of people watching the first two episodes, and like their thoughts on it, and they're like, I have no idea what a wiggle waggle is still. They're like, that was a weird fucking creature. I thought the second one, because the second episode gets into the lady in white, was like so much better. And I'm like, having read and gotten the explanation and like the things that they do and like the interactions that they have while hunting them are so much more in depth and like terrifying in the manga. There's a part in the manga where the main character is possessed by one and is saying just some random stuff that seems to be relating to an account of like a child seeing one of these in the real world. But in the anime, when that happens, there's like no distortion on her voice. She's just staring at the camera and saying it. And I'm like, if I didn't know what was supposed to be happening, this wouldn't make any sense. I'd be like, okay, that was weird. Which, I mean, maybe that's what they're going for. But there's also like the first time they take one out, they hit it with I think some rock salt, and they're like, wow, I guess that's their weakness. They try it a second time because they want more money, and it just doesn't fucking work. And they're like, oh crap, what did we do different this time? And they go through all these different things, and um, it ends up needing to be shot at a very specific moment. When that moment happens in the manga, it's like there's a total tension of, someone had lost a gun, someone's not able to fire a gun, here, take my gun. There's this whole like tense exchange of like things are barreling down in a really serious and like timely manner, and like one bullet is all that they need. Like in the manga, it's just kind of, it's like everything I told you, just put that on a screen. Like I'm missing all the nuance and all the stuff going into it, and like kind of the explanation of how this actually ends up working. But if I was to like tell it in kind of a really rushed way, and then you gave it to someone, they're like, oh yeah, and then they shoot it and it works, right? Like, yeah, they end up just like ripping off like 8 shots at it in the manga, and then it like it goes away. Like it does the thing that it does to turn into something they can sell. And it's just like it does not hit the same. Like, I didn't get the same horror vibes. I didn't get the same, like, I don't know, like the same like tension thing. There's something horrifying that happens to the main character while she's looking at it. And it's just kind of like, it just kind of looks like whatever in the anime. It feels like so rushed. Um, and then so I came off that feeling really like ugh. And like I think I said this to at least 3 different people last week when I was explaining my experience was I guess I'm just gonna wait till April. Well, I kind of came out of it and was like, I guess I should at least try the second episode, right? Give it the old 3 episodes and see what it's doing. Maybe it's focusing more on like the romance aspect, or maybe it's trying to like make it a more fun time than like horrifying, but the stuff they're dealing with can kind of get there. That is to say, I watched the second episode of it today, and while I think it also feels rushed, I don't think it's missing as much as like the first 2 chapters being like lumped together. It's it covers more than the next 2 chapters at least, because you actually get the end of the cliffhanger, but they end up something relating to the giant lady in white comes back to that like blue field that she ended up seeing through the door.
Uh-huh.
And when you watch the anime, they don't fucking mention it. I was like, what? Like, you set it's set up in the first episode, and you see something that's the exact same blue field, or at least close to it, and they don't do it. The thing is blue. There's a blue field that you end up seeing. The characters do not acknowledge it. In the manga, like, it's perfect in like the last couple pages of that last chapter. Something's happening, and there's 2 people who are, kind of under this lady in white spell, and they're walking towards it, and the main character can see, wait a minute, that's blue, that's not good. Like that's the same blue that I saw. This can't be good. And that adds to the tension of, holy shit, where is this going for the cliffhanger? And like in the anime, it's like the anime still, and it's funny, I'm almost mad I watched the anime, except for I'm enjoying it a little more than I did the first episode. But like in the anime, they get to the resolution of that like monster. So this might be like a little bit of a monster of a week kind of thing in the zone, in the other side, which I'm okay with. Like, give me cool urban legends, but if you're also not going to give me anything about them, then I don't know what the point is. Anyway, but like the thing that's actually happening, when they confront it, is actually a really interesting like resolution, and it's also another like kind of like brain fuck. Like it's super cool, and like the ideas are there, and I think I'm gonna end up finishing the anime just because like I kind of really like these characters, even though in the anime I feel like they're a bit watered down. But it's got enough of the stuff that I liked reading it going on after watching the second episode and actually getting like the catharsis of what was happening there, that I'm probably gonna watch it. I think it got greenlit for another season next year, I believe. So like
Goodbye.
that's more on the way, and like there's plenty. Most of my favorite anime and manga, I have, if it has a manga and an anime, I've done both. Like I ain't never like not done both for a thing usually. I really can't remember the last one that I didn't do both for. I think Haikyuu might be one, and I think that's just one that I need the whole presentation of it, and it seems like the quality in it keeps staying up to the point where yeah, I'll just wait.
Yeah,
But I'm a D.
I've seen a few stills from the Haikyuu manga, and I was like, I'll just wait for the anime.
Yeah, it's like I think if I read it, I would still get hype as hell, but there is something to be like seeing it in motion, especially like again, if like I said, if the quality of the anime went down at some point, I would just pick it up, because like, but it's just such a gorgeous and like well crafted thing that like, that's one of the few things that I'm okay on waiting on, even if I'm gonna be 40 by the time the anime is done getting fully doing the adaptation. But yeah, so yeah, my thing with Otherside is I recommend it. I might recommend the manga more than the anime, but I'm a glutton for punishment, and I guess I'm gonna go watch the rest of it. But we'll see. More on the horizon anime wise is at least good, and I'll always be able to get more of the in depth nature of it from the manga. I mean, I could go all in, and there's people probably screaming right now if they've read the light novel, because we do have the light novel here. I just saw that the the sixth volume of the light novel is available digitally. The ebook for that is out. So if that's your jam and you didn't know that was out, go get it. I'm sure it's maybe more detailed than the manga and probably the best version of it. Again, talking adaptations of adaptations, but yeah. So I had a strangely good time with that. I went through like the stages of grief on it being terrible to like, oh, I guess I'm just gonna watch this because it's pretty okay. Um, but yeah, so that was me. And I just watched the second episode today. It was weird. It was just kind of like I had given up on it, and I was like, I I guess I should at least give it that much, and then ended up coming out a little more positive. Maybe it's just the distance from the manga, but yeah, I had a good time with it. Looking forward to watching more, and yeah, but other than that, I've kept up with Miyako-chan and Jobless Reincarnation. I don't know how they did it, Carlos. They made me cry 2 weeks in a row in Jobless Reincarnation. I
Oh,
did I
I
didn't see that shit coming.
I can see it
I was just
because
like, I thought we were done getting emotional here. I thought we were gonna go on adventures, and no, it's fine. I like character development. Um, also, gangbangs getting blown up by icicles is just a thing that happens now. It happened again. I will say none of it was on
okay.
screen. Roxy just walks into a place. It's happening. They zoom out to the city, and she casts a spell, and you hear an explosion. And a bunch of people are very confused.
They know their bit.
Yeah,
I'll give them that
it's
much. They know
I
their
can't
bit.
believe that's a bit. I can't believe that's a bit. I can because it's this fucking ugh. Anyway, Carlos, what have you been watching?
Okay. Just so we're clear, that entire time, you gave a great glowing review that I, honest to God, was just imagining the Wiggles the entire time. Every time you
That's
talked about something horrifying, like
you should open up the Discord and at least they're not too
no,
horrifying, but
I
it
saw it. I had the trailer going and everything. They're in the trailer as well. I'm just saying when you kept talking about Wiggles, it was like Wiggles.
yeah. I what so if you yeah in the trailer my I think my main problem with them is they don't look cool. They look like cool if you were like, hey, look, this is a monster in an anime. People would be like, damn. But like the way they look in the manga is so much better. Like they're
Would they
weird
look
and like
cool in the anime if they were in fact the Wiggles?
they yeah that might yeah the Wiggles themselves are horrifying and probably break your brain if you look at them for too long.
I mean, they went on tour. Do you know anyone that ever came back from those tours? I don't.
I don't.
Uh, but no. So what I went ahead and watched this week, I did what I said I was gonna probably go and do. I went back and watched the rest of Hortensia Saga. That was the fantasy anime based on the new Sega or the latest big Sega mobile game that they
Hmm.
released.
Oh yeah, they're like cross media project.
Yeah, the big cross media project. And like I thought, it was never anything too special, but it was an enjoyable little romp in a fantasy world. There were knights, there was magic, there was sword fighting. Never the greatest animation, never the greatest story, but it was solid actual fantasy all the way through, and that's cool. Like I enjoyed it. I will give them credit. They did the thing I thought maybe they would do, but most narratives would not do at the end of the series. And they just end on that as like at the after credits. It's like, yeah, no, that happened. Well, I guess we'll deal with that at some other point in the story, because like they hints at it happening in the opening constantly, and then like you think, oh well, I guess that does happen. Like I guess a form that happens in like the final scenes of the last episode, and then the credits roll. You see everything. It's like, oh well, okay. And at the end of the credits, you see that, oh that one thing they said, hey, you should absolutely not do. There's a whole reason there's a test about this, and then they go and do it, in the forum, and it's like, yeah, uh, the technically bad things happened here. This is not a happy ending, despite what you might think. It's like, okay, I'll give it
Huh.
that. We'll see what happens if we ever get anything more. Because I don't know, like if the project doesn't succeed, if there is no season 2, that's just gonna be the canon ending for an anime. It's like, all right,
Yeah. I gotta say,
I
I'm a
mean,
big fan of the. You should never do this, and then the watcher the whole time is like, this is against the rules, you know. And then they
mm-hmm.
do it, and it's like, whoa! I'm a
And
big
they
fan
just
of that
straight like
shit.
again, they just straight up end the anime on that. They just like,
Woof.
yeah, that's how. You know what? I'm about it. Like it's not even like how do I put it, like depressing or anything, because once again, this was never trying to be like the next big thing. It was part of a media project, and they put some good quality behind it. Again, I really enjoyed the fact that the princess did go ahead and dress like a male for the majority of the time and was fighting like one. They do go ahead and do princess magic near the end, but I mean, for the most part, it is still sword fighting. Again,
Hmm.
as I mentioned before, it is based on a mobile game, so there are very much video game fights of like, oh, people need to team up to fight this one big powerful enemy that could be bad, could be good. We don't really know,
Hmm.
uh, and it's like maybe never the best animation, but just the fact that it was able to go ahead and like it did all the things. It did all of the uh, team up fantasy adventure fight bullshit. Like cool, and it was just solid. So I was fine with it. I enjoyed it. Uh, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone necessarily because once again, it was just a fun little romp in a fantasy world. It's not that great. I want to play the game still. I wonder what the game was like. Uh, but that was it. Hortensia Saga. If if you really like fantasy series like I do, and you just want like a quick little romp or something, I'd recommend it. It's both available in fully dubbed and fully subbed on Funimation, and yeah, again, I hope we get the game because it was a tactics game, and I just love me some tactics games.
Nice.
And what's up?
Oh, I was gonna say, also all of Otherside Picnic is sub and dub on Funimation, and I think the dub just dropped last week.
Like literally after you finish the first episode, I think either later that day or the next day, Funimation tweeted out that, oh, hey, the entire dub of this is released. It's like,
Incredible.
okay, okay.
It's amazing.
And then, what I did go ahead and watch this week as well, because it finished, I was able to finally finish uh, Slime Season 2, Part 2. What's there not to say about this show? Like,
Does it go the distance?
of course it goes to distance. It's slime. It's so awesome. I think they've what I really appreciate is I believe they've hit the tipping point of yeah we're gonna have to step up the threats at this point
Hmm.
because the baby threats like this like literally this entire part of it is like just getting to a point like Rimuru Moore needs to go ahead and get this basically settle this score that he has for what happened in the first half of the season earlier
Sure.
in the
That's
year.
that's what I
Uh,
figured. What was they were
yeah,
gonna do?
but once again, it's such amazing because yeah, anyone who's asking like, oh, isekai are so boring because people are so OP. Yeah, they are sure for the most part, but again, Slime's beauty is the fact that yeah, Rimuru is always OP in one form or another, or so are his comrades, but they make the scenarios and the writing interesting enough that who gives a shit? It's fun to watch. They keep me entertained the entire time, so I'm never in a spell of like, oh, this is so dumb and boring. And yeah, animation is strong. They make characters that they I can't that they just always do it for the fact that like you want every character to be badass, even if like in most cases they probably wouldn't be in most series. But no, Slime is about just making everyone cool, literally making everyone cool. If they're a protagonist on the protagonist team, and just filling the laughs, the voices, like, and the fact that they ended with the like how do I put this? I adore the fact that small spoilers for the end of the first half of the season. That was earlier in the year. As we know, let me see here. Raphael, Great Sage becomes Raphael and develops a personality.
Hmm.
So that is awesome. Like, because they know just when to use it, when to pull back on it, and it makes it a whole thing. And the fact that I can't believe what they did. I literally thought they were gonna pull some magical bullshit, explain a certain plot in the story the entire time of this, and they were just like, "No, this other thing. It was always nothing because fuck it because they could." It's like, oh, okay. And like the final bits of the last episode of like making some major changes to these characters they just introduced, and we're trying to make a big deal out of them. It's like, yeah, we need to go and solidify this. We're not going to worry too much about this, and just shake it up the hierarchy a little bit, and there we go. Like, oh, okay. And they've kind of established that, going forward, I would assume going forward, the enemies are just going to be that much more vindictive towards Rimuru, and that much more of like, okay, they are getting to a point where natural selection, the threats are going to be people who are as strong, if not stronger, than Rimuru and his crew.
Hmm.
So I'm excited because again, it's so weird. This is technically just more and more setup, and it's still always so good because they just know how to keep it entertaining. They know how to keep it engaging. It
Hmm.
should be boring and predictable as fuck. I mean, I guess technically you could say it is predictable in certain ways, but then other ways you don't believe they actually did the thing that they were hinting at they were doing, because who the fuck would think they could pull that off in an enjoyable manner and then they just do it? Uh,
Hmm.
and I don't know, like slime is really just something so special. I'm so happy it came back, and I don't know when we're gonna get the third season because apparently we're getting a movie first, which I'm down with that, whatever. But then after that will probably be the third season. So I guess we'll see what happens. I think
Is
hopefully.
it?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is it confirmed that the movie is going to be like a short, the next like short arc
I have
from the
no idea.
series, or is it going to be okay original? Yeah, that was what I
I
was wondering.
I'll see what I can find out when you do catalogs later, but I
Hmm.
have not. When the last time I saw it, it was not confirmed what the plot was going to go ahead and be. I'm
Okay.
hoping maybe at the very least, because of the whole Crunchy Funimation thing, if we get any news on that later in the year, hopefully maybe it won't be. It, for some people it won't be a thing, but they do have that entire offshoot series of the Slime Day to Day Chronicles that is only available on Crunchyroll in sub. Maybe at some point we get a dub for that as well via Funimation because of the whole deal thing. So maybe, for some of us at least, the gap won't be too long and bad. Maybe we will get some
Yeah,
more slime in one way or another. But
that would be nice. Are those the OVAs that Funimation has some of them dubbed?
no. So the OVAs, Funimation does dub all the official OVAs. What I'm
Uh-huh.
talking about is there's an entire slice of life. Uh, uh, what is
Spin-off?
it? Huh?
Spin-off?
Yeah, spin-off. There we go. I'm looking at that word. A spin-off series just about the daily lives in Tempest,
Huh. That
and
what?
that are only available on Crunchyroll because they're
Damn.
only available in sub.
That's really interesting. Yeah, they should dub those.
Yeah. So like I'm hoping at some point that deal will change so that they can go ahead and do that, because I mean I'll be there. I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it. And again, it's just gonna be a matter of like I wonder where we're gonna come into on that movie in the third season, because they have set this up more and more of like, again, it just keeps fucking escalating.
Yeah,
And
what where could we go next? Yeah.
like, I mean, you get the idea where they can go next. It's just gonna be like, people go, people work so long for so many years to get where they're going, just like naturally nonstop. Like, what the fuck? Like, so
Yeah.
many of the shonens don't are like, no, we gotta build this up, we gotta build this up. It's like it's like with JavaScript reincarnation. Like, they just know to keep moving, and it's like, I'm about it. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you know where you're at in Jobless Reincarnation, but the last episode that I watched, some of the events from season 1 apparently happened 2 years ago.
Yeah, I can see that.
I just damn fuck.
Did you
Like
not catch? Well, because they did the whole thing where Rudy grows up, and then over the course of him, yeah, it was like 2 years over the course of him with the family that he was teaching at.
yeah, no. But them minor jobless reincarnation season part 1 spoilers. Them
The dispersal, yeah.
yeah, when they're at the Dragon Continent,
Mm-hmm.
from then until where they're at, like in episode halfway through the second part of the season,
Mm-hmm.
um, from when they first got to the Dragon Continent or whatever, it's been 2 years since then.
Since like, uh,
Since they were
the
at the continent in the
okay,
first half of the series,
okay. So the
which
place
like
they that when they so because they got to the place they got where they arrived at first, they woke up at, and
mm,
then they met up with their team members, had the whole thing, and then they took the boat away from there to another place. You're saying after the boat, it's been 2 years?
I get I don't so from the you remember when they go to Roxy's home village, they meet her
Yes.
parents. It's something happens that there's a story that happens at that village
Mm-hmm.
that just happened in this latest episode, and they say, oh yeah, these people came by 2 years ago.
Oh, okay, okay.
There's like a whole lot of wait, he
Yeah.
looks the same as he did then. Has it really been 2 years? Like I don't know. There's a lot of like you would think there'd be a little bit more changes in like character designs. I don't know. That's my only thing that threw me. I was like, oh okay. I wish maybe instead of just a different costume, he would look a little older. Maybe like
I mean, I'm sure they'll get there.
yeah. I mean, I get didn't he? Yeah, I guess he leaves when he's like
He was just like 10.
7. Yeah, or something like that. I can't remember if he's 11 or 12 right now. The last time they said his age, but I was just like, oh wait, okay. I think I need a little bit more character updates if we're gonna be 2 years from when we were like 5, 6 episodes ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't like from the at least from the covers I've seen. I don't believe we're gonna see any kind of growth physically until after this initial like group he's with right now, or the
Yeah,
group
this
activities he's
this
involved in
initial
right now.
storyline or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably just young him and then him
because
like
I'm
being.
on. I will say the final scene in the episode that I just watched
Mhm.
was at the throne room with her uncle or her grandfather.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah,
Jesus.
so yeah, that was the final scene that I saw,
Hmm.
and so time is definitely growing, and it would make sense because things gonna have to change after whenever that gets addressed
Yeah, it's just
naturally.
like yeah, there's a lot going on, and I just think the show is so good with like the subtleties it does everywhere else. I wish there was more like things where you could see him growing a little bit. Like, just have his shorts look goofy on him. He's like, I need to get some new fucking shorts, you know? Something
Well,
like that.
I mean, in the I was uncomfortable with it, but I mean, his body definitely looked bigger or different, I should say, when he was in the cage.
I guess, yeah. It's just
Like
that like if you
those
compare
limbs and appendages were a lot longer.
I guess so, yeah. It's just that like if you like take a shot of him, like a full body shot of him from the anime now and from like those scenes, those other scenes, I'm pretty sure, like, even compared to the other people, he's around the same height. Maybe they have been making him taller, and I don't notice it.
I mean,
You know,
he's a kid. Growth spurts happen.
that's true. And boys get their growth
And
spurts later
I'm
than
gonna say,
girls and
and
stuff.
honestly, I don't even believe in the books I've seen or the light novels I've seen. I don't think he's ever like actually that different physically. I mean, like maybe
Oh,
average
but
size.
yeah, but he is definitely like
No,
he
no,
still
I
looks.
get you. I'm just saying, like, I don't think I don't. It's a noticeable change, but it's not as though his physical appearance is that otherworldly from where he is. I think he's just naturally average
Yeah, I just
physique.
wanted him to like he is definitely not like he needs to get but to at least 5 foot at some point.
I mean, he's only 12. I didn't break 5 and I was 12. Just saying. Not everybody's a giant.
Right, I
Nah.
get it. Privilege.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I barely broke 5 when I was in high school. Uh, Took me that long. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. It's again slime. Back to slime, and
Yeah,
just
sorry,
I
tangents.
love it so much, and I'm excited. They brought in more characters that will be cool to watch because again, they've brought in more characters that either are as strong as Rimuru, if not stronger, because
Hmm.
they've clearly insinuated that there are bigger things going on, even after everything that has happened with Rimuru and his crew. They've clearly insinuated that there are such bigger, and they've made it a point to call out the fact, oh, just because these people might be here with a title, we need to do something about it because there is just such a vast difference in what's going on. It's kind of the Jujutsu Kaisen thing of like, yeah, these titles are getting to a point where they don't really mean anything because the
Yeah,
difference is so vast.
yeah.
So
There's yeah,
so yeah, that was me in Slime on season 2. I'm so happy. I might go back at some point and just rewatch the whole thing back to back because it's just
yeah.
such a good time.
It is that good every time.
Then outside of that, I haven't really watched anything else. I was a little busy. I, for those who don't know, I mean, I thought about watching something else, but one, I can't get through the first episode of that Arcane League of Legends series. It's not bad. They just start off with them as kids, and I really don't fucking care. Just give me to the plot. Um, and
Yeah.
then Halo Infinite Shadow dropped, so yeah, my time has disappeared. Any other plans were gone. So Uh, this coming week, though, I don't think it's going to be an official group watch because I don't believe any of us are actually going to be committed to getting the whole thing out of it, other than most likely me. But Cowboy Bebop live action does drop this week, so we'll at least have some thoughts. I'm assuming on at least episode 1 amongst all of us come next week.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll at least watch the first episode, if not
yeah,
two.
yeah. If anything, I'll probably finish it, but we'll see what happens.
Hmm.
That's 10 hours. That's 10 hours of content, so that's 10 hours of content. Also, I got to watch the official adaptation and launch of the Amazon live action fantasy series, The Wheel of Time. Great series. I really enjoy it. Friend turn on to it. If you have time, people, check that out as well. And there's also the point of I'll have to just sit in a corner for a few hours and cry on the 19th about what I could be doing. But it's okay. It's okay. Um.
They dropped the trailer song that without any of the
Oh.
voices.
Oh, I know.
Okay, good. Yeah.
That we've been out here. We've been out here.
Okay.
We've been no.
I've literally like my it. It's like medication. Like every once in a while, it comes back in my head. I'm like, I gotta put this on loop 6 times and go back to my actual day.
I appreciate it because every time I would have that on with the trailer, like I love the trailer, I love the voices, and I love all the cues on there. I do,
Hmm.
but because of the way the voices work and the song works on there, even with my headphones on, it sounds like I have people making noises outside of my door, so I'm constantly checking
Yeah,
because
when you're having when it's like voices on voices. Yeah.
yeah, and so it like or the chorus, and like I live in a household with a lot of people in it, so I'm always like, does someone need me? Because I'm in a situation where like people could need me on a drop of a hat. So like it's kind of a weird thing of like, all right, it's good to be chill. Like there's no voices here. Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Then outside of that, you know what? OBS, I appreciate you because they have a timer for how long we've been recording and how long we've been live, and
Cool.
it gives me an idea of where the fuck we're at. I appreciate you, OBS Studios, the official one. Stop using Streamlabs, people. They got some explaining to do. Also, apparently they fucking suck as a broadcasting system. I can't believe how many. Oh my god, I got sweaty, angry at the fact I couldn't get Halo up and running, and then this watch out, whatever. Anyway, we were gonna go ahead and cover 2 manga stories, but considering the time we have on there, you know what?
Should we just wrap it? Go to or not wrap it, but should we just go to the updates?
Yeah, let's go ahead and skip it. Well, let's have an easier show on here. We've got some time in there. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to catalog updates.
All right. So for catalog updates, only a few things this week. Funimation adds the Heaven's Official Blessing dub, as well as Irina, the Vampire Cosmonaut dub. I was gonna say Courtesan. I'm like, that's not right. It's Cosmonaut. Irina, the Vampire Cosmonaut dub. That's a weird fucking show. I need to watch that. And the Otherside Picnic dub. And High Dive has added the live-action School Live film. Nice. School Live, School Live. Never heard it said out loud. Never will.
I mean, they could pull the "and we all live through school and we have a life now." They could
I
say
mean,
the
they
words.
live at school, so that's why I think it's
Look,
School Live.
I'm just.
But
I saw Carnage. I mean, I saw Venom, not to be Carnage, on Monday. Believe
uh-huh.
me, I know how much people like saying that their title in their movie or in their piece of media. Because, oh boy.
It sounds like a masterpiece.
Ah. Anyway, let me see here. So I pulled up images for it. No details on the movie.
Okay, on the slime movie, I figured. I mean, if it's by the anime studio and it's an anime original, I've trusted everything they've done so far, so I'll let them have an original.
Apparently,
Um,
there's some like smaller arc that may be there beforehand, so maybe that's gonna happen.
hmm,
Uh, or it could just be a. Okay, let me take a look here. Huh. No, I can't really tell how much it's clearly set in the, like all the things we've dealt with right now in the second season of like certain characters now being there to be part of the story. They're all
hmm,
there, so I guess we'll find out as time goes on.
interesting. Cool.
All right, and then that will have us move into new announcements and new dates. Once again, folks, short one this week. This is like the most barren we've been ever. But first up, Bandai Namco ends digital sales and online service for Jump Force video game. I mean, all they fucking put out are arena fighters. So, I don't know how they screwed this one up, of all things. Still, to this day, I don't know how they did it. Like, it seemed like a slam dunk.
It really did. People were hyped.
Like,
I remember
they've
people being
made this.
excited.
They all they do is remake this same game. The new Demon Slayer game is just this same game, and yet somehow the one that involved the entire library of their characters for the most part, uh, yeah, they just fucked it up. I don't know how.
It could be the thing of like they ended up just having too many chickens. Instead of being able to focus in on a select number of characters and fighting styles, they were like, oh fuck, we gotta fit 49 Gokus into this, and they're not even all Goku. I know there's not 49 Gokus in there. I'm
I
just
think there's only the one Goku in there, honestly. Maybe that's where they
yeah, because
fucked
he
up.
probably he probably yeah, that's true. He probably does all the transformations.
Let's say maybe that's where they fucked up. They were cursed by Goku. What do you mean I'm only in it one time? That's not how this fucking works. Um,
I know have imagined Goku sitting in the Don's chair, sending people after the Jump
and
Force line.
all the other Gokus around him in the bunny outfits. Let's see here. A Goku one Goku harem, you might say. Next up, Ninjala, the game on Switch, is getting an anime series in January 2022. Because why not? Apparently, uh, bit of a fun one here for next up. The Gantz creator didn't know who was directing the Hollywood adaptation until he saw it online. Let me see here. We're gonna go ahead and read a little bit of the article. This is from Kim Morrissey at Anime News Network. On Twitter, Gantz manga creator Hiora Oku shared the the news last week that Julius Avery, live action 2018 Overlord film Son of a Gun, will direct Sony Pictures' planned live action adaptation of Gantz. He then added, "This is my first time hearing it." That's a direct quote. "This is my first time hearing it." He
Incredible.
clarified in a follow-up tweet that he agreed to the contract a long time ago, but he did not know that things were moving along. Deadline reported last week that Temple Hill is producing the adaptation and that the project is in early development with no start date yet set. So yeah, if anyone's wondering how long the his involvement, that man's out there chilling, and he's just
Yeah, he's
waiting for
certainly
that.
doing fine.
He's out there waiting for that check to come in, and you know what? Good on him.
He's
I
not
hope
even
he's
waiting for it. He's like, that'll come someday. They ain't even doing anything with it. You mean it's got a director? Shit.
good on them. I mean, there was the Gantz CG movie that came out. It's on Netflix, so I mean, I assume he's just like, they'll be fine, whatever. Like, I, cool. I
Yeah.
I don't know how you living, but enjoy. It seems like it's a good way to be living. In a next announcement, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero anime is getting a novel adaptation of the movie. It's
Huh.
really not a long story, folks. They're like really milking this thing.
Why
Uh,
is there a novel adaptation? It's in the manga, right? They're adapting a.
yeah,
Huh?
it's a spin-off of the manga, and like, yeah, I guess it's cool that they're gonna do this. It involves some of the characters we met in the first season when they were younger, and one character
Hey,
that's sort of the protagonist there, and
that's the character that's like in Europe right now, right? In the story or whatever.
let's say yes. I don't
Okay.
like.
Then that one.
I'm gonna say yes, and yeah, no. This is legitimately. I brought it back up on the Shonen Jump app. This is 4 chapters.
Okay, so they must be doing some expanding upon that.
I don't
And I
think
guess having
so.
a.
I've seen the trailers. I don't think they're expanding. I think they're just out there having a good time. Which is, hey, that works too.
I wonder if they were like, well, because we're doing a movie, we have to have an actual screenplay, so we're gonna write this up, and someone went, put it in a book, and they're like, money.
I get, like, again, folks. Just so we're clear, I've caught up now, and am keeping up with the Jujutsu Kaisen manga. That story goes places.
I
So,
recently, in the past, like maybe 6 months, I can't even remember, saw one of my favorite characters bite it, and I was sad.
uh, it just goes places. It's gonna go places. You're not. Many of you youngins aren't used to seeing manga go. You're not used to seeing shonen go, I should say.
God, please tell me they still have backgrounds. Carlos,
Wait, what? Backgrounds?
right?
Give me context.
Again, referencing it being like Bleach.
Oh, okay. Look, no, it's very good. I'm just saying, like, I don't. If they were gonna make this movie, I would think they would just make this particular arc and the next arc coming up as both just one season that is nothing but flashbacks. Because the arc that comes up directly after that is like an extremely long arc. And I would hope they're not going to pull a My Hero season 5 of just cramming shit together. Uh,
Uh,
because, yeah, no, that arc is ridiculously long. That was like the longest arc they've had so far. And, damn.
is it
If,
possible they might do this and all the flashback stuff in one movie?
no.
Damn. All right. Asked and answered.
Like, if anything, it's odd that they're. I mean,
Even doing a
no.
movie?
No. If anything, it's odd they're covering this story before the next arc. Because the next arc, uh, maybe slight spoilers. I don't really think slight spoilers. The next arc is gonna be a story about what's his face, teacher.
About Gojo? Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, not Kakashi. Yeah, um, yeah, just a story setting about him. Not really setting him up for anything big. Just a flashback about him, and just some
Hmm.
of the characters they put in there. Like I don't know why they're doing that one that establishes what happened after that, before that, but okay. I don't know.
Interesting.
It was a cool arc, and it's not like it's a bad arc or anything. It's still good writing, still enjoyable, but it's not a very deep arc either. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be a cool movie. Hopefully there's not too much blood on it
Oh,
because it's Mappa, but we'll see.
yeah.
And
This mouse that I have, you know
mhm,
how most mice have that like red light so that they, the optical tracking?
yeah.
This one has a blue light and I just blinded myself. Continue.
No, I appreciate that because that's what
Why
we
was
are,
it that
folks.
bright? What doesn't need to be that bright?
No, folks. If you're wondering how slow of a news week it was, honestly, this is riveting. The discussion of Gallant's Mouse is just the highlight
I
of
don't
my
even use
show. The
it.
show so far.
It's just sitting on my shelf. Anyway.
Anyway, moving on to new dates. The Devil is a Part Timer season 2 will be getting news on December 12th. So here's your press release of a trailer before a trailer before a season, most likely.
Uh Damn, that mostly sounds like we are not gonna get it this year, huh?
We're getting something, and the light novel's finished, so I'm okay. I think I'll live. I'm gonna be getting paid soon, so I can buy all the books and a translator. So we'll see. Slightly cooler news. This is more manga related. We don't really do it very much, but here we go. Full Metal Alchemist. Galleon might need to save me here. The author's name. Uh,
Oh god, I put my phone down. Hold on.
Hiromu Arakawa.
You got it.
Okay, Hiromu Arakawa launches Yomi no Sugiai manga on December 10th. This is going to be her next big long-running shonen series. Unofficial English title, The Hinge of the Underworld. Let me go ahead and get the description. The manga centers on Yuru, a boy who lives in a remote mountain village. Because of course he does. Spending his time hunting birds and being one with nature. But one day, Yuru's younger twin sister, Asa, is called to serve in the jail at the heart of the village. Her duty is also confining her there. Yoder slowly unravels the unnatural mystery hidden beneath his quiet village. Uh, this character is an archer. The design is out there. He honestly looks like Riza. So we'll
Nice.
see what happens.
It's just a BDSM jail.
I mean, there's literally someone a one-eyed goth right behind him, so I get it. You're not
Let's
wrong.
go.
Handcuffs. Moving on. Fandom events will be screening the Macross Plus Movie Edition on December 14th. It will be sub only, and the tickets are now on sale for the December 14th. It's going to be one day only, so if you want to see that, get on that immediately. I need to watch that series. I have it all on DVD from a friend. I just haven't done it because I'm a terrible person. And then lastly, the World's End Club debuts on PC via Steam on November 30th. If you like Danganronpa, same group, but they did something interesting. And it is basically elementary school kids who are kind of thrown off track during the field trip, and they've got to find out who's lying about something before they die and the world ends.
Neat.
I saw some gameplay of it. I thought it looked pretty cool. I wanted to get it on release, but then I left my job, so that never happened. But now I get to say, yay, I can play it on Steam only, unlike with me and not waiting for Bravely Default 2 to come out on Steam, where apparently plays a lot better and loads a lot better, but I got it on Switch and I got it digitally, so I can't return it, meaning I'm just going to be sitting here living in regret. Yay, me! Where's I going with this? Home. We were going home.
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
yeah, that's it for this week, folks. That's it for this week. As always, thank you for coming by. There's a bit of a shorter show here, but I mean, next week will probably be longer. I think there's going to be enough things going on next week that probably will be longer. And we'll see what's happening there. But I mean, outside of that, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a good night. Personally, I've got more Halo to play.
Oh, I've got one small thing. Unofficial.
What's up?
Beep, 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 breaking news. Not really breaking news, but I figure as the resident Yuri enthusiast, Yuri correspondent, I would have to give a shout out to the other side of the field. The manga Go For It Nakamura, which is a very cute school comedy romance story of a boy who likes another boy. Its sequel manga just got licensed over here, so everybody who likes that, you're getting the sequel, baby, or the continuation. I don't know.
What was the name again?
Go For It Nakamura.
Okay, Go For It. Okay, I heard Gopher.
I can see.
Different context. Okay.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, you can be a gay gopher. Let's go.
Just that was a different place. Okay. Nope, we're good. We're set. Thank you all for joining us again. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you next week. And have starting it's actually starting next week officially, right, Gallant? Availability may be changing. So we might have some shows set up beforehand in case we miss shows because of certain things going on. We may miss Mingo again next week because I know it's going to be the day before Thanksgiving over here, so maybe having things going on there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't we planning for a pasty to go up next week anyway?
Possibly. We'll see what happens.
I'm working 12 hours that Wednesday. I'm not on the podcast.
Yeah, so that is likely going to be happening for pasties of we might have something edited to throw up there. We'll see what happens. It might be me and Mingo. If not, we probably will not be here. So that might be going on for the next few weeks on there. I'm going to be starting to work as well in the beginning of December. So some availability might change until things get into a new normal or reset to be more manageable. But outside of that, though, just keep an eye out. We hopefully still have things to go ahead and post. But otherwise, we will see you next week. Later. How do I stop this? I don't know how to do this. I'm actually prepping
Don't
more.
work retail during the holidays if you can help it.